Yeah. Shade 4-5. Swiggity. Tracy G. Heather B. Salute to Heather B. Hit her up right now. Heather B at the happy hour. WHB. Send her some love and emotion and affection and send her some good energy. H. Bizzle.
Yes, indeed.
Took some time off. I want to see if Michelle from Oakland, she's an environmentalist, can call the show, 888-742-3345. Anyone who studies the ocean, the study of the ocean. Anyone who studies the ocean.
Right, marine biologist, all of that.
Yes, or oceanography. If you're into oceanography, a marine biologist, it's different types of oceanography. We used to, growing up, I went to an amazing child care center called Manzanita Child Care Center. It was this elementary called Manzanita, and on top of it, they had a child care center that parents could safely keep their kids in that child care center, especially if you were growing up in a challenged environment with limited resources. They took in the kids in this child care center. In it, they taught us so many different things. It remind me of the conversation we were having with Zeke earlier, who were doing this program about fishing and getting kids out of the concrete jungle into the nature. And there was a teacher named Ms. Laughlin, Peggy Laughlin. I don't know if anyone knows Peggy Laughlin out of Oakland, California. She may, I don't even know how old this woman would be right today. She might be in her 70s. I'm not sure. Beautiful woman, Caucasian woman, drove a motorcycle, wore shades, kind of tough, at least in my opinion, as a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old kid. I thought she was tough. She was loving tough, though. She was the kind of tough that you knew she loved the kids, that she was responsible. Miss Stanfley, Mr. Buchanan, and all these different people that worked at this child care center that I'm remembering right now. I'm sure my brother at some point will text me some of these names. But one of the things they did is they used to take us to Stinson Beach.
Stinson Beach?
Yeah, in California. And they would take us actually to Monterey to see the elephant seals. And we would go and learn about the elephant seals and their migration. And we would talk about the ocean and the importance of the ocean and what role every animal plays. The elephant seal plays a role. A crab plays a role. A shark plays a role. A whale plays a role. Plankton feeds the whole thing.
Yes.
Plankton plays a role. And so Eli Roth, we were talking about sharks and the importance of sharks. I don't know if people realize that there are 100 million sharks that are killed every year.
Wow.
100 million sharks are killed every year, equates to 274,000 sharks, I want to say, a month.
Okay, and kills how?
Is that true?
A day.
A day. 274,000.
11,000 an hour.
11,000 an hour.
Wow.
11,000 an hour. And the sharks play such an important role in our global ecosystem. So our good friend of ours, man, I want to give this man a round of applause. He did something so great for us. DB, can you do the honors and just run down a litany of just all the major accomplishments this man has made? Would you, DB, please?
Man, with great pleasure. I have been waiting to meet this guy. I've been a fan of his because I love horror. I'm a huge horror fan, and I loved everything he's done from Cabin in the Woods. Cabin Fever, the sequel and the original, Hostel Part 2, The Green Inferno, Knock Knock. He put us in Death Wish, which I am indebted to him for because I never thought I would see myself in a movie, let alone be in a movie with Bruce Willis, one of my favorite actors. But I have to thank him personally. Thank you so much. And if you ever need somebody to say, Reaper alert, call me up. I got you.
Eli is amazing.
Eli Roth
so good
here.
in the movie.
Eli Roth is here,
Thank
and he is the filmmaker behind this documentary we're talking about. It's called Finn. Please welcome him to the show. First-time citizen, Eli Roth.
Eli Roth.
Eli!
What's up, everybody?
Thank you. Heather's not with us today, but she's here in spirit. Tracy's here, and DB. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. It's so good to finally be on the show, man. I can't tell you, and I owe you guys a huge debt because you were such a pleasure to have you in Death Wish, and you came in, and I remember I just gave you some parameters, and you guys shot it yourself, and you did your dialogue, and it couldn't have come out better. It really grounded the whole movie, and every time it's on, and it's like I know it runs all the time on cable, and I see that scene, and I see you guys in it, and it's really like, everything you say in the movie is so on point. I just thought it really grounded the movie in such a smart way. So thank you all for being part of it.
Oh, thank you, man. Eli is a fan of the Five Fingers of Death. He likes the freestyles.
Yes, I do.
I hear that.
Hey, Eli, let me say this. First of all, I think this. I know you're in Italy and you're limited on time, so I want to get straight to this documentary. Even when you watch the trailer, it's just the trailer alone is only like 2.5 minutes, but within that 2.5 minutes, I'm so emotionally affected. Just from the information. What possessed you to do Finn? What made you want to do this?
You know how it is. Like sometimes you feel like this subject gets in your head and you go, how come no one's talking about this? And that happened to me when Discovery asked me if I wanted to host a talk show for Shark Week. Now I'm a Shark Week nerd, so I was more than happy to do it. And they said, well, we'll send, the master of horror diving. And I grew up in Boston, so I was terrified of sharks, and I'm the Jaws generation. So I always believed a shark's going to eat me every time I went swimming. And there are very few moments in your life where your whole system of belief shifts. And I was like, whoa. I had no idea that sharks were so intelligent, sensitive, cautious, really interesting animals with different personalities. And I fell in love with them. And then I realized that we're killing 100 million a year. And you hear that number, you think 274,000 a month, but it's 274,000 a day and 11,000 an hour. And that's the conservative estimate. And I was like, but how is this possible for soup? What is this? And so I said, I want to make a film where me, not a scientist, not a marine biologist, just as someone who tells stories, trying to understand the global shark trade. And what I learned was so shocking and so horrible. It's basically this giant Ponzi scheme that makes $1 billion a year off killing this animal that's so important to all of us, because basically sharks are the doctors of the sea. They are responsible for eating the sick and dying fish. They stop disease from spreading, and they keep the ocean in balance, which keeps the algae in check. And the ocean produces half our oxygen. So sharks are literally responsible for half the air we breathe. So it's okay. So the sharks, when their sharks are there, they keep the check on the grouper, and the grouper eat the parrotfish. So without sharks, you have too many grouper because the sharks don't keep them. So they eat all the parrotfish. Well, the parrotfish eat the algae. So now you have the grouper and the algae. Grouper don't eat algae. The algae blooms, and then you have phytoplankton and kelp, and the phytoplankton and kelp are producing that's the underwater plant life that's producing our oxygen. When the algae layer is a foot thick, it can't get sunlight and the oxygen can't get out. So the oceans turn acidic. So that's actually, but when sharks are there, they actually keep, it's just the presence of a shark can keep the grouper alone out, so that the parrotfish are there so that they can eat the algae. It's this delicate balance of the ecosystem that we're just decimating. And then when I saw what it was for, that's what's even crazy. The soup is completely tasteless. The shark cartilage pills are complete fake science. They actually inflame your joints. The shark liver oil, squalene, is used in makeup and lipstick, and there's a plant alternative made from sugarcane and olive oil. So and then meat is mislabeled and sold to the poorest people in the world and in America in supermarkets where they call it rock crab. Like they make up terms for it. It's sold in fish and chips in Australia. Basically, anytime a shark is pulled out of the water, someone's making money from it. The populations are down 90%. Within 10 years, that could be gone. And our kids will have an ocean without sharks. It's going to be catastrophic. So I just felt like if we don't do something and say, it's like 50 years ago, the world came together and said, why are we killing our whales? We have to save the whales. We did it. We looked at orcas and said, we can't keep them in tanks. We passed laws in California. If we don't do something now and speak up against the shark trade, of which there is hundreds of millions of propaganda saying everything's fine, you can eat shark, don't worry. It's all a complete lie. It's like the tobacco industry in the 60s and 70s. If we don't start having a consciousness about it and saying, why are we killing all of our sharks? What are we doing? There's no reason they should be out of the water. They're going to be gone.
When you watch the trailer, by the way, Finn is exclusively on Discovery Plus. Okay.
And there's a free 7-day trial if you don't have it. So
boom.
Yeah, go get the free stuff. There you go. All right. When I think about the black market, I think about I think about ivory. I think about furs, off of seals. I think of just different animals, tigers that are being killed for their bone marrow. Where does the black market on shark fins, where does that rank in terms of?
It's so bad. I mean, and this is one of the things we do where I get on one of these ships, on one of these pirate vessels with Sea Shepherd. I didn't know anything about this. I mean, there's human slavery. You're supporting human trafficking. Basically, there's a mafia, the Galician mafia, they call them, out of Spain. They'll have a shell company in Portugal that they'll flag to another African country. Basically, they'll take a ship and hide where its origins are, go into the poorest countries in the world, like Liberia, like Robertsport, and it's like in 18 days, they can wipe out the shark population. So there are things like Leonardo DiCaprio, his company partnered with Google to create Skynet to pirate these boats, but there's thousands of these pirate boats from Japan, China, all over the world, Spain, that are going out and stealing people's fish. They take everything. They gill net. We show it in the movie. They basically drop a wall of net and just scoop up everything. So there's no ocean life. Some of it's fish, and then they just cut off the shark's fins, throw them back. But it's crazy. And the thing is, they try to protect and regulate the trade, but really we shouldn't be trading them at all. Is the bigger problem. But it's being run by the mafia. Then the sailors they get, the fishermen. Like when I went on the boat, I mean, they're living in squalor. Imagine they go to the poorest people in Africa and say, "Come work on this boat. We'll give you work." They put them there for 3 years at sea. They say, "We're going to pay you $10 a month." And then they'll say, "Sorry, we didn't catch enough. We're not going to pay you." And if the people complain, they just throw them overboard. And then there are people that are supposed to inspect the fisheries.
Wait, hold up.
What was that?
Stop, hold up. If the workers complain for not getting paid, they get thrown overboard, over the ship? Yeah. Wow.
Human slavery. No, there's like Sea Shepherd. Look at Ocean Ace and Sea Shepherd. It's crazy. I saw it. I mean, I was on the boat with these people. They're the poorest. These are the poorest people that are working, and it's human slavery. I mean, it's human trafficking. That's what they do. I mean, we're talking about mafia-run companies. So then often, if the ship gets caught, they'll scuttle their own ship. They'll just sink the whole ship, just so there's no record of who had it. The fish are the easiest thing in the world to launder. And other thing is that when you have illegal fins, like once a fin is dried out, the fin has no taste. It's cartilage. It's like fingernail. Once it's dried out and been bleached and they scrub them with bleach, they're lying in dog excrement. It's disgusting. You can't tell what species it came from. And less than 1% of the containers coming into Hong Kong are checked. So the whole thing is the whole thing is a lie. It's $1 billion trade, and hundreds of millions of dollars are spent to keep it that way. Politicians are bought off. The EU subsidizes these ships that are pirate vessels. The whole thing is such a mess and so unbelievably corrupt that really the only way to stop it. Well, there's two things. On finthemovie.com, I put a button where people can write their rep to help ban the shark fin trade, which is a bill that's going before the House soon. But really, we have to just stop buying the product, like the ivory trade. The only way to really stop it is if everyone says we're not going to buy shark. But you have to check your makeup products, and it says squalene. You have to say, are you shark or plant? Because the lobbyists have gotten in there so that no one has to say it. What's crazy is that basically one shark, if it's dead, they'll sell it for $30. But in the Bahamas, sharks are protected. They've had nearly $1 billion in shark tourism, and they've estimated that a single shark can be worth $250,000 over the course of its lifetime in dive tourism. So really, we should be putting our efforts into helping these fishermen and villages. There's some people that are doing it, Reggie Domingo, Shark Row Madison, flipping to dive tourism, which is an evergreen industry. But really, unless we all speak up and stop buying the sharks, I mean, when you buy shark, you are buying into human slavery. It's awful. And none of us have any idea, and they don't want us to know. There's a lot of money spent on propaganda to say, like, everything's fine. What are you talking about? There's no problem. It's like the tobacco industry.
Yeah, Eli Roth is here. We're talking about Finn. Go to finthemovie.com if you want to stop the shark trade. Eli, I got about 3 callers I got to take for you. They just, as soon as they heard your voice.
Yeah.
Eddie in D.C., you have a question.
Hey, Eddie.
Yes, Sway. Hey guys. Hey, Sway. Eli, thank you for what you're doing. What can we do politically, like through social media, to get our elected leaders, when they sit down with the Chinese leaders and say, hey, cut it out with the fins. We need to stop this. What can we do? Is there a hashtag?
There is. Well, I mean, look, on finthemovie.com, first thing we have to do is police our own backyard. Like, we can go over to China and say, stop it, but U.S. is the 7th largest exporter. We're selling all our fins to China. They're our biggest customer. So we have to say, like, look on my Instagram at Real Eli Roth. There are shark fin kill tournaments all up and down the East Coast. They happen in Long Island. I mean, they're happening in Montauk. They're happening in Nantucket. You can go to those sponsors. Look, SiriusXM had their name on one in Ocean City last week. And just go to the sponsors and go, this is decimating. They don't know. By the way, I'm not blaming SiriusXM. They're told everything's fine. It's a serious. They're like, hey, look, it's a charity fishing contest. Shark is the prize. and then they go to the stats. They go, well, sharks are healthy. It's all a lie. So we have to speak up. But going to finthemovie.com, there's a button where you can write your rep and say, please pass the Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act. And then it's doing things like going on FedEx's social media and saying, please stop shipping shark fin, because FedEx is making money off the death of sharks. DHL stopped shipping it. Other carriers have stopped shipping it. FedEx is still shipping shark. So until we all say, FedEx, we're giving you your money and you're shipping shark, we're going to find other carriers. You got to help us out. Be part of the solution. We need to encourage people to be part of the solution. And then when they flip over, then support them in a big way so that businesses are incentivized to no longer carry shark or to switch from shark squalene to plant squalene, which is actually cheaper.
Hey, Eddie, thank you for your call, bro. You know you're a citizen, Eddie.
A Sway in the morning.
Okay, cool. We got Kyle, who you actually work in oceanography. Kyle, what's your job?
No, so not necessarily there. I actually called you guys this morning because my neighbor on the Olympic thing. But I'm a wildlife removal specialist down here in Tampa, Florida.
Okay.
So I help people that have issues of native animals getting close to their property. And we do work a lot with people that have sharks in their canals, especially with red tide down here in Florida, which is a big thing. Eli, I just want to say, good job with everything you're doing real quick. Writing out to the Shark Fin Sales Elimination Act is a huge thing. And I know you were talking with Dr. Reese Halter, who's a phenomenal environmental specialist. Just great people out here. And, we definitely see a lot of that down here. Florida is a huge market for shark sales. Restaurants,
number one in the country. That's why Florida can ban it. And Rubio killed the bill the last time. So if Florida bans it, that'll go a long way because it's the hub of shark trade in the U.S.
And we're writing it out to DeSantis. I know that we have a lot of people that are big advocates for the sharks down here. So we're going to keep pushing, man. I support what you're doing. And, like I said, we do see a lot of it. So send my love to you guys. Eli, you're the man, bro. You'll always be the bear.
No, we all are. Everybody's voice is equal. Everybody's voice counts. The fishing industry wants you to think that you're small and that your voice doesn't matter, and it's not true. Everybody's voice counts.
There you go. Hey, Kyle, you a citizen, man.
That's Sway in the morning.
And he was talking about Arian Knighton, the 17-year-old Eli that's running in the Olympics right now. He's running the 200 meters. Is this guy's Kyle neighbor. So,
cool.
Yeah, man, that's pretty cool. Kyle, have a good day. James in the ATL, you want to say something?
What up, James?
Yeah. What's going on, Tracy G, Sway, Eli Roth? Good morning, sir. Can you bring attention to the fact that millions of people are buying scallops at high prices, and it's actually not scallops. It's shark meat.
It's shark meat and whale. Oh, God, it's horrible. You have to ask when someone brings you scallop. I learned this recently. When someone brings you scallop, you have to ask for it in the shell. Because what they're doing is they're taking whale meat and shark meat, which is 32 times. First of all, shark alone is 32 times the allowable mercury you're supposed to eat. Scallop, it's shark meat and whale meat. We are being lied to.
Wow.
You have to make sure it's locally stored, sustainably stored. But if you order scallops, you have to see the shell before they cook it. Otherwise, chances are you are eating shark or whale meat. It's really terrible. Okay. Thank you for bringing that up, James.
James, you're a citizen. We appreciate you, James.
That's Sway in the morning.
Hey, Eli, listen, this is I can't wait to watch the film in its entirety. Citizens, I want all of you to support it. Go to filmthemovie.com. Be active, be involved. This affects us all. I think Eli did an excellent job in explaining to you how. And when you come back to town, man, when you leave, I know you're working, but when you come back to town, you got to come on the show, man. Come back on the show.
It's long overdue. I can't wait to do that. We'll look and we'll have a good time and have some laughs. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. This is amazing. We're going to support the movement. Tell Nina, tell Leonardo, we're going to support the movie. And when you do come by the show, bring a verse. Bring 16 bars. You're going to rap.
I will. I will have them ready. Ready.
All right. Eli Roth, ladies and gentlemen. Finn, the movie is on Discovery Plus. Be safe, brother. Thank you for the work, okay? My man.
Thanks, guys.
Absolutely, man. Jeez.